Hello, old souls. If you'd like to come on in for a little symbolic support, we'll see what the aura of the week is whenever you decide to step forward. Any scrying, shapes, symbols, and spirits that may step forward. Here's our ink blot that is going to inspire our meditative state. We'll also add on Tarot and Oracle, and as well where the Ghost Tube or Ghost GIF is kicking, we're actually going to utilize Ghost Tube Seer for any visual inspirations that may arise. Overall, please do receive a release freely. Old souls, thank you so much for being here as always. I'm going to take a moment to open up. You're welcome to join me, or you can fast forward through. Whatever feels good to you. Taking a nice deep breath. Closing the eyes, cleansing the palette of perception. Releasing the race and the rush. Activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. In the name and honor of old souls, empaths, seers, psychonauts. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, for being my muse, and for holding space for me to share my insights. All right, we've already got a shape coming up here. It looks like a pedestal with a light illumination on it. I also feel like there might be some that are working on renovating their home, the latter. Also, there might be energies trying to visit you, old souls, at this time. A wise energy, but it has to climb this ladder towards like a second story window. Okay, so there's something in here that is manifesting. There's an excitement. I feel like this is you. There's an excitement within you. This is the conversation that's I feel like is trying to reach you. There's a feeling of like, it's like I can see smoke, and there are, different kind of techniques. Maybe you're feeling this in the collective energy. Thank you. Is this the collective energy? This like almost like a war feeling. Every time though I'm seeing this in the smoke or in the remnants of something going off, the smoke is revealing something, like that energy is being released. I'm also seeing a lot of candles, like if you were at a concert, kind of going back to that pedestal feeling, and people would light candles in honor of what you're doing, saying, feeling, in remembrance of as well. But I feel like that for you, this is something about holding your energy strong. I'm coming face to face with something. I've come face to face with myself. Yeah, see, and it brings me down here again. I feel like there's dogs barking at me. At this energy. Okay. Give me a moment. Like something's being created or culminated. There's a face in there. There's faces or energy entities in things. Okay, so something might be. It's like the best way I can say that I'm seeing it is, imagine like the Moai from Easter Island, and they're being taken down. Is there something underneath them? They're bigger than what they seem. We'll make our way through this message. So thank you, old souls, for being here. But I feel like there is definitely some sort of awareness that you have of what's going on. 8 of Coins, like the House of Cards. House of Cards? I've never seen that show, but that's the way I'm seeing it. And then the Sun. Okay, this... see if I can do this. Sorry with my ink covered hands. Right in here, when I was saying like before, like a face off, but that conversation, and then here's the 8 of Coins. And if these mean anything to you, please follow that first versus my earrings. But this is up here. Letters, communications. Interesting. What is up there? something's already beginning to topple. It's like seeing the Muay. Like, I don't know what happened in history, like why, if there was an earthquake or something. I don't know what happened. Because I'm seeing them all lined up, and then they're not. And I don't know what that space is, but that, whatever that space could be, natural disaster, or I don't know that word. Can you give me another one? I'm going to call it an interaction. It feels like this was this. Creating. It's like these. I feel like you're sensing something, guys. That is very King of Cups is coming through with the Six of Cups. Maybe 6-6 has meaning for you. This interesting how this is happening. It's almost as if there's like two paralleling stories happening, two paralleling insights happening at the same time. The Sun and the Six of Cups, like the sun comes out, something's revealed. There's strength here. Puckerfish. Something's revealed and it feels joyful. And at the same time, I feel as though there's this other paralleling story where there's some sort of figurehead and a house of cards. But it's almost like there's an unqualified person or energy attempting this. And it's already starting to crumble and fall. And it could just feel like this. It could feel very, very uncomfortable. This does feel very collectively. Of course, you might resonate with this individually or personally, but it might be the energy that you're connected to individually to the interconnected because there's something you're helping with. Four of Wands, Queen of Cups, and the Two of Wands. I will bring these up so you can get a better look if these mean anything to you. And again, if you haven't already, please do like, share, and subscribe. There's a road. Okay. This just turned into a road. And where I was seeing the face before, now I'm seeing it, like if you can imagine like Twilight Zone. Like a portal? Is this like something? It's like I feel like I'm controlling weather up here. Weather of some sort. I don't know what kind of weather. And like dogs would bark at it. And like when animals bark at things, you're like, but we don't see anything. But they have a clue. Okay, so here's this path that's kind of like bridging these two paralleling stories together. See this? I don't know how well it's coming through. It looks like an ancient language of sorts. I don't know how well you can see that. But it's like it's on both sides. They're reflecting, but they're going about their reflections differently. Some are playing music, like a band. In celebration, like a parade or a parade. Okay, so there's an energy here that is feeding another animal, like when you put your hand out for them to sniff you or smell you, and you're good. They're not attacking you. That's how I'm feeling like your energy is. I also feel like I'm by a tree and I'm grounding, like the size scope of this to this, but it's like this story is trying to affect this story through a very bridges, a specific portal of sorts. It's bringing me into the show. Oh, look at that. Cards and dice. It's absolutely cards and dice. I'm sorry, my other tablet is, I don't think that's coming through. It's charging, so. But anyway, that's what it is. It's like the cards laid out in dice. Somebody's playing a game. But look how strong this is. Do you know those fish as well that are good for, and I remember when I was like, had a pond at our other house and they would eat the algae. It's like having some sort of ecosystem. So let's say like if the dog was drinking out of the water or of this pond or this puddle, but there's an ecosystem that the water for their alchemy is good for them. Because there's these other animals and plants that are helping the alchemy. Something about oxygen as well. Hands on the hips. Hands on the hips are coming through. Sorry, I had here, yeah, we're still here. Two of Wands. It's like I'm looking for this road. Four of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Hands, it's like the Queen of Cups has her hands on hips. Some sort of figure comes through. Remember when I was talking about that somewhere along the lines? Or maybe was I just seeing it? But I didn't say anything yet. Okay, give me a moment. It's from this conversation. Some sort of spirit or religious figure. These two stories are very, very curious. Invisible. Act of love as is. Yeah, there's that house. I don't know if there's energies trying to infiltrate and it keeps changing forms. And can you just see how that blurbs it? But something keeps changing forms. It brings me back to the dogs. Something invisible that they can sense, but maybe we can't see or they can see. And it seems to be like right around your house, whether that's like a holistic home, so will it come through here and it keeps changing forms, trying to get in. Whatever that weather is. Sorry, that's a horrible angle to like just keep it to keep it at. Active love, as is, so above, so below, because I want to place these two together. There's a presence coming through, but it's like not blocking certain presences. There's also, I'm seeing it like an evil eye up here. There's that portal, but I'm seeing it like a paddle. I think some people like go towards this energy, and I'm sorry if this is scattered, but sorry, not sorry. The message is what it is, perfectly cryptically clear. It's almost like there's whatever this is happening up here in this weather. It's like shoot your shot, because otherwise if you hit the backboard and it bounces back off, like that could be a thing. We have here driver coming through in competition. Yeah, I was gonna say like pickleball or something, or something like with the paddle up there, the paddle. But I went with basketball, which is interesting. You know how in Austin Powers or in the movie, he has sharks with lasers? That's what I'm seeing in here, sharks with lasers. There's also another card in here, this card right here, the Four of Wands, and of course if that means anything to you. But see how he has this birthday cap on, and I'm seeing that up here as well. I feel like this side of the story is going to be celebrating too early. See, this feels like the competition, and I don't know why. What's the driving force of this side of the story, we'll say, and I don't mean to get all stuck in sides right or wrong, this side or the other, but the side's ready. The sun side is ready of sorts. Time and defense. I feel like I'm in something really old, like something that's been happening time and time again. And then I have here explorer. This feels like you, the old souls, if you're here with me, and if you're still here with me, thank you. It's like being an explorer of time, and you've plopped into this timeline to understand something. It's almost like that could be part and parcel of somebody's multidimensional mission type thing. And if if your mind can conceive, coexisting in realities, especially with the two clear timelines that are happening here, but again, the space in between being many. And that there's a version of you existing somewhere in a different past, which could also be very futuristic or very modern beyond our conception, to the future that could be very, what's that word, like basic and not as futuristic per se as one might think, looking ahead. So this is the interesting part here. So anyway, so imagine that there's, again, and then there's, a third to a million other degrees of possibilities through this dimensional gateway, that there's a part of you that is existing somewhere and has come back to travel here to this timeline quite specifically. So that's very much like a psychonaut experience. I'm not so much seeking anything, but it's more of a seer, to see something with your own eyes and to explore the existence experience as it was had in this particular dimension of the timeline. Something about the weather. It's like, but when you came in, there was weather, or you're sensing the weather around this time frame. Yeah, see, evaluation. There's some sort of evaluation that you're exploring. And maybe, you don't even have to necessarily wander out with me in all the wonderful weirdness, but it's in like this time frame. It's not so much of like saying, hey, put a stop to this, because then I also have conflict in here. But you discover something while you're here, as you are here and now. As you are here and now, you're discovering something through the exploration of it. Interesting, because then it brings in a new chapter. You have sacrificed, or at least the way it's feeling here, there's been a significant sacrifice, like almost like, giving your right arm to have this experience. And though it might feel conflictual from like an emotional space, thank you. It's like when, how do I say that? Because there's a birthing of a new chapter. Even in like the here and now, and maybe you're sensing this with me, like in the here and now, you've gone through to however old you are in earth years, I'm gonna say, right? Sorry, there's something coming through. I don't know if it's a belt or handcuffs. You're unlocking something. But it's almost like, sorry, I'm going to get back to it. The adventures that you've been on, it doesn't matter if, you're 15, 25, your earth years are one measurement of this specific timeline. And that's cool. But the adventures or explorations you've had up until this point, like right here to this point, where whenever you reach this, there's a view that's being had. And it's almost like you can smell the book, the new book, the fresh paper, even if it's really old paper, but it's a blank page. But there's something about you knowing something from before, like you came here to see, not seek. Maybe you went on a seeking and exploration, or you're trying different things, knowledge, like, well, what does this earth timeline have to offer? Well, I'd like to go to school for this, or I'd like to take a job in this, or whatever the case, whatever your interests lie. But there's still this underlying, like, of information. Like, none of those things you're here to see them for your own eyes versus seeking them out. Like, it's almost like you're just trusting you'll naturally kind of fall into them. I don't know if that makes sense at all. Okay, so now I feel like I mean business. I also feel as though, see the Five of Pentacles. There's something that wants me to like take this, and you know not to take it. The Eight of Pentacles, you know not to take it. Because you're listening to your spirit. You're listening to your spirit. You have all these other lifetimes. All these different brains of sorts. And you know that the one side of the story for you, not in a total judgment of what it could be created or what the opportunity it creates moving forward. It's like when something is revealing that you clearly understand for you without a judgment of anything else or anyone else, you will not be taking that route. Also, I want to note, like in this card, it's almost like they're like little astronauts. I know they're not, but it's like they're little astronauts. You know, like if they had a thing on their head. Your ability to be here in this time frame, you're also an apprentice of something bigger than I can even conceive or perceive in this. I'm seeing like a saber-toothed tiger. Nine of Pentacles. You know which way to take. One is luxurious for your existence and the other is dismay. It's like you've been able to step into this space, sorry if I zoned out there, and can determine, it's like you're catching somebody in the act about something. That's like the one side of the story, and I'm not judging it again. It's just presenting itself that way, and this could be the perfect pathway or bridge for somebody else. Looking overall, thinking a bigger scope than one could possibly conceive of how this thing, why would somebody choose this? Looking at the bigger offering. And then strength here. Okay, so I'm going to bring these up for you because I feel like maybe as I'm seeing this from an interconnected weather, now it's coming down personally for me. It's like a contest between the most powerful, most terrifying creature alive and a lion. Pride. Pride. Also something about music. Tones. Again, I'm coming back to those dogs. That we can't hear, but maybe other, and it's like looking to them like as keepers to help you indicate something. Here's the funny thing as I'm saying that, a contest between the most powerful, most terrifying creature alive and a lion. That most powerful, most terrifying creature alive, I feel like in some ways is a human. The ability of a human, the human experience. I'm going to leave that there. Because as I'm coming up here, this is happening. Page of Cups. There's fish in that. It's like somebody scooping up pond water. Okay, so I'm seeing here Bran from the Game of Thrones when he's older. And he is now the Third Eye Raven. And I feel like in some way, shape, or form, you might resonate with this of your own journey through that, through opening your third eye. Because it's like another gateway, but there's different weather there as well. Like there's always powers at play, and I'm not, some are more in a space of unity, whatever that unity is, or in alignment. But it's work, labor, and then we even have, a tribe up there. I feel like there's arcana, very a lot of masculine and feminine balance coming through. This is work being done on a collective level, like even the time frame that you might feel that you're from, or this one aspect that's tied to that has come back here. There are others with you, and perhaps it's been something ongoing for a long time, like from I don't want to say the beginning of time, because that seems endlessly entrapping. There's time for physical work, and then there's also time for mental work. This is that strength coming back in, and even when we saw the strength before, is that Cleopatra, or is that just my imagination? You are going to get what you want out of this trip, out of this existence. I'm seeing Orion's belt, like the 3 stars of Orion's belt, and then one off to the side. I feel like this is a very odd message, but that's okay. I don't need it to make sense, because you're free to pause, replay, revisit, or release freely. So thank you so much. Interesting. So we have here religion and snake. And again, that's no judgment on anything. Please follow your own intuition versus mine, or versus my yammerings. It's like science and spirituality. The science of being spiritual and the spirituality of being scientific. Are these the 2 paths? That somehow are in conflict, but yet cahoots. And then it's like, oh, please, give us a little something. Okay, let's get ready to close out here. Saber-toothed tiger and maybe a boar. Oh, sorry. I'm connected to something. Oh, there's that tribe again. I'm connected to something. What is it? That's beautiful. That's what I'm choosing. That's what I'm choosing. Okay, so this is where we're at. Your tribe, which has come up a few times. You always have somebody looking out for you, of course. Your higher self, to the many different people that you've incarnate, to your family that is here with you. And I don't necessarily mean like your family, mother, fathers, sisters, siblings. This is like I'm going to call it like a third eye tribe. And when I ask, like, what am I here for? What is this for? And it's peace and purpose, peace and purpose. Because I'm going to take information home to that one home. You weather out a storm. It's like your parents, your big parents, if I may, are peace and purpose. And you come home because it's like going off to college or school or at a job where you feel like family. You know what I mean? When you just like you go to work and they are family. And the work that you're doing, the work that even though you might feel like a lone explorer or a lone wolf even, you know you're not. You know you're not. You are help and healing. Just by being here and bringing information back, because it's like, you know, everyone talks about the downloads, that's great, but you're also very aware of your uploading, and this is uploading not to the, I don't want to say not to the here and now, but it's the here and now somewhere else. Yeah, okay, closing out messages. Thank you if you worked with me through this message. I appreciate you, old souls. Thank you for being here. New souls, old souls. New, old. The polarities are peaceful and purposeful, but they do help us to some degree or another anyway. So thank you so much. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe. All the links are below if you'd like to help a gal grow. And you truly warm my haunted heart. I'm very grateful for your awareness and attention. Okay. So our last messages here are, I will just bring them up for you. Chief critic, trust yourself in everything. If you want to take those images in. And last but not least, above all, we must get rid of the selfishness. See, and even like in that picture, it's almost like a Neanderthal time, which could be the future. It's like being a king or a queen of nothing, because there's nothing left. They know not what they do sometimes. And then there's some that very much so do. Chief critic is card number 33. Okay, sorry, we also have an image coming up here. Looks like an angel. Maybe with them, something with different kind of wings or something like that, but I feel like it's made out of marble or some sort of white stone. There's also other energies wondering how you're doing what you're doing, what you're putting on display, what you're emanating, because I think you're not selfish. And that's curious from these like perceived power players. Again, I want to say like the science of being spiritual and the spirituality of being scientific, but I don't know. Those are just two examples. And staying in your state of trust, leaning into your own luxuries and what that means for you, what your love looks and feels like. Hands upon your hips and mean business when you mean business. But this weather up here, if it's of your mind, of the interconnected nature of things, but I feel like you're on it. I feel like you're very much so on it. There's a smile in there. I feel like in some level, shape, or form, you know exactly what you're doing and what's going on. And what you're here for, in one regard or respect, is to see something for your own eyes. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much. Until next time.